ことなど一度もない。
Oh, that was bad, bro. Bad.
I am genuinely conflicted about how I really feel about this episode, because I did like a lot from it. The interactions between Fuga and Garyon, where we were told and shown that those two men were really close, and we actually get to see and hear the resentment that Garyon had towards Fuga, and the entire duel scene pretty much being the semi-big bulk of the episode was like kind of genuinely intense and captivating. But like the main problem with this episode, and kind of the main issue of this episode alongside another thing, we are 3 weeks away from the finale. This shit doesn't feel like, oh, this is like, we are like straight up in the stretch mark. No. It feels like a very early 30-ish type of episode. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be in the end game. So, the big bulk of this episode was kind of surrounding Fuga and Garyon's relationship with their quote-unquote daughters. It's way more kind of their relationship with each other and semi of Garyon's relationship with Atropes, but it was kind of interesting with Garaja getting Rene and trying to make both dads kill each other and probably just kill the last man standing to execute her plan, making Atropes a war machine that would just destroy Earth, while Rene is going to be the fuel for that war machine. Like, genuinely, I loved the scene, like young Fuga and Garyon interacting, and it was interesting that at first he held resentment for Fuga, not only because he was a slightly better alchemist, but also he felt like his commitment to have a daughter and to protect her was genuinely a thing that he was actually jealous of. And like, even bits of him wanted to see himself in Garyon, which is genuinely an interesting thing that the show could have done, and the reason at first we led to believe that he created Atropes was of jealousy. The problem was, it was a lie. Like, the entire setting of the duel was cool, like having Hotoro coming in and trying to break in the duel was interesting, and I kind of like that Hotoro semi-lucked his way into the duel by transforming into the gun butterfly thing that I've talked about like last episode, or at least it was 2 episodes ago. That was neat. It really feels like Keiichi Yasugawa is kind of like listening to my videos and was like, oh, it's a cool meat rider, I'll start listening to him. So like the way that, you know, and the way that pretty much Hotoro came in was kind of cool, and that led us away from the duel area to the real world, where we got the big reveal that Garyon told Atropes that his love for her, everything that he'd done for her, was all fake. He just wanted to do the same thing as Garaja, but just make the world gold. Here's the thing. Maybe I'm dumb and I don't get the importance of gold. It could be like the idea of each and every, if you really think about it, each and every king, so to speak. Like, Gigest was very much about understanding and trying to understand the empathy of humans. The other guy that Garyon kind of took over his body wanted love. Garaja is very much focusing on like the humans and their want of like wanting to pursue a better future. Garyon just wants gold. Is it because like humans want materialistic things, and for us as humans gold is very much like a high status value, so we would want gold. Here's the thing. Like, that's slightly dumb. Again, it could be that. It could be me not fully reading into Garion's entire kind of ethos of being pretty much a villain of Gotchard, which you can clearly see are adapting like the worst of us as humans. But like the problem is it's just a dumb plan. Here's the thing. The show could have rectified it by Garion not fully getting love. Like literally he could have done the same plan but not understand what love is. He's like, oh, I want this world of gold and I need you for it. We can live like forever in this world, but you just need to become my weapon. Like that's it. Like one line, one thing could have changed Garion as a character. Again, it wouldn't make him more sympathetic. It would still make him a villain that sacrifices pretty much his daughter to the lamb, but it could have been slightly better than just I'm an evil like twirling mustache man, which is like fine. Like here's the thing, when we are presented with Garion being jealous, him creating a trapeze with her model being Rene was like, okay, interesting, they could play the father-daughter role, but it's like, no, fuck this shit. I don't know, like I don't know like what to really think about that reveal, because it just felt dumb. Or they could try to rectify it in the stupidest way possible, that he actually loved a trapeze and he felt embarrassed by it. That's dumb. I prefer the even dumber thing that the show did. And even before Garion's plan can even come into place, fucking Gotchard just tries to shoot a big old fuck off laser towards Rene, which a trapeze actually like shields Rene from. And pretty much in her dying breaths, a trapeze first of all apologizes for everything that she has done and actually say, yeah, I was jealous of you. I wanted to be your friend. I was jealous of your and your dad's relationship. It just, like, this entire thing kind of felt slightly undercooked. Not like, oh my god, this is uneatable. It's way more like, could have been like a minute or two more in the oven and it would have been perfect. It just feels like, oh no, like this show wanted to tell so many stories at the same time and they just kind of they tried to juggle so many things that they couldn't. Like it feels like the show slash Toei, specifically Toei, just given up and just like said to us like, oh hey, fucking finish the series off, just try to do something better. I was like, okay, I can fucking try. And him kind of slowly reaching to his phone is like looking at like his contacted Subaru arms like, oh please fucking answer me, I need a fucking save line. So yeah, a trapeze dies, which her death kind of leads to something interesting and I'll talk about it later. But also her death led to Rene getting another ring and a new driver that you can also buy on Premium Bandai, which is funnier to think that the only thing that you get is the darkness ring. Go fuck yourself. That's so funny. You're not even getting the light ring. It's like, no, you need to have the original driver to get it. Go fuck yourself. And with that driver, Majade gets a new form, which is Twilight Majade. And they actually like get to fight Garaja, and like it was a really cool fight scene where we discover that Twilight Majade kind of works a camera double with like a trapeze kind of controlling one side of the body while Rene kind of controlled the other. It is interesting, and I am kind of interested to see if like the show would continue it forward, because like a trapeze didn't really die, she just kind of fused with Rene. I don't know if the show, what the show is going to do like after the fact. after the fact. Is the show going to unfuse them? Is it even fucking possible to unfuse them? But I really liked seeing that fight scene. It was great. Like, you can clearly see that they wanted to pay like a lot of close attention to both of Atropos and Rene's fighting style, with Atropos just throwing and chugging shit at their opponents because, you know, it's a 9-year-old, but also Rene way more cool, like close combat style, like CQC style, which was really cool. And they got to actually like defeat a king. Like, genuinely, this was the first time that an Abilicist king died, because like the other dude just got pretty much body swapped with fucking Geryon, so it doesn't really matter. Which we also discovered that when an Abilicist king dies, pretty much its Philosopher's Stones just kind of go up. It's like, is the Philosopher's Stones just don't abide by the laws of gravities? That's cool, and you know, which is neat, I don't know. And Geryon and Gigas pretty much collect the remaining stones from Garaja. They say, oh, I'm evil, I'm more evil, go fuck yourself, I'm Gigas. I just disappeared. Remember me? But I think here is the thing. The only like genuinely, okay, I'm hyped. I'm actually like truly hyped about something that kind of concluded with this episode, is what the show is going to do with Koloff. Because Koloff got to see like Atropos die. So what's going to happen with her? Like, what the show is going to do with her, because her entire thing is just like, let's get the band back together, let's just bring the family back together, we would be better that way, because this is when we were at our best. Now that family is fucking dead. What the fuck Koloff is going to do? Like, is she just going to team up with Lachesis? Are they just going to like fight and die in the end? Like, this could be like a genuinely interesting story we can tell. But the problem is, like, we are in episode 47 and we are like 2 weeks away from the finale, so I'm not sure if the show could actually do something that early. I'm sorry. Like, I am kind of afraid of what the show is going to do with Koloff. And I'm kind of more afraid that the show is just going to end on a whimper and it's going to hurt the show. I don't know. I don't know, because here's the thing, this episode could have been so much better if it was in the early 40s and not in the late 40s. This is like the show's main problem. I think that the show really wanted to juggle a bunch of different things at the same time. Okay, the show. Toei wanted the show to juggle a bunch of different things at the same time and didn't allow Asagawa to be Asagawa. I think if they would have just let Asagawa be Asagawa just without any real restraints, maybe with some, if they don't want it to be like a Nexus type of show, it still would have worked. But it just like feels like, gosh, like I don't like it. Like, here's the thing, like my main two things that really hinder that episode is not only the placement of it, is Geryon's big reveal of like, oh my god, I'm an evil bastard, I never cared about you, child. Which was a thing that we thought, but like, then when we started to discover that, oh, like he created her because he was just a Fuga, that was way more interesting. Again, they could have done him not fully getting what love is, and I could have maybe rectified this episode slightly more. It could have rectified even more. But like, fuck, with the stuff that I don't like, I did like the entire duel scene because it did have some captivating moments, it did have some intense moments, and it just getting more Fuga was great, because I think Fuga is one of the most like least developed characters in the show that should have been developed more and should have been a bigger part of the cast, but when you have that big of a cast, how much you can do? It's like, it feels bad that I need to say it, but I'm not really excited for the finale. I'm actually kind of anxious for it. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the show is going to do, because here's the thing, it feels like the show doesn't really know what it wants to do. It's like, it feels like Hasegawa is trying to just stitch things together as quickly as it can, and just, again, still reaching for that phone for like a Subaru rep to just save him and show people what the fuck Hasegawa can do as a writer. But again, I did like what this episode did with the small bits of Fuga and Garyon having those really fun and intense moments in the duel, and I do like what the show is maybe trying to build up for the 2 last episodes that we got remaining with Kolaf. But overall, like, this episode was kind of a disappointment. It felt undercooked. Not in a bad way, but it felt like, oh, we could have done more with this entire thing, this entire story better, if we could have had slightly more time and not maybe focusing on fucking Legend. I'm just saying. So, this one gets a C+. Let's talk about Majade and Majade's final form, aka Twilight Majade. Hey! Our first ever secondary rider actually got a final form, which is fine. It is practically just a Sun Unicorn with some like different pretty much gradient bits on her chest and slightly on her knees, and pretty much it's a semi of a new head sculpt. It is really cool. Like, the color scheme being a Twilight, yeah, fucking badass and cool. Like, I like that. Pretty much the back, like, if you see it from the back, it kind of does look like a Trappist. Like, you can clearly see like the black bits specifically like on the back of her head, on the back of the helmet, is maybe supposed to slightly like represent Atropus's like hair. It is cool. I do like it, because at least like she got a way proper in like actual final form. It felt like a final form. It kind of was. It is kind of thematic with the show's final form theme, with colors like her is Twilight, Gotchard is Rainbow, Valvarad is like silver, and Legend is supposed to be gold. I don't know what you thought about Twilight Majade. What you thought overall about episode 48 of Kamen Gotchard. Comment below, let me know. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please press that like button. And also, don't forget to help the subscribe button achieve its dream to becoming a subscribed button. Thank you very much. And also, don't forget, you're the only one that can prevent forest fires. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.